Warning, the player selections you're about to see may flop miserably. FPL TV cannot be held responsible for any of your own transfer shockers. Please, FPL responsibly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Point Predictor, the series where I pick 5 players that I think will score 4 points or more in the upcoming FPL Gameweek. Within these predictions, I can only select one player per club, and I must follow the categories shown on screen. If you enjoy the Point Predictor series, then be sure to support the channel by dropping a like and getting subscribed to FPL TV. Before I make some predictions for Game Week 14, let's quickly see how my choices from last week performed. So, it was a miserable game week for my personal team and my Point Predictor last week, with just the one correct selection. Aguero failed to return points in a 4-0 win, Wolves conceded at home to a goal-shy Huddersfield, and Richarlison blanked at home to Cardiff. So let's move on to Game Week 14 now, and I'll try to do a bit better in the upcoming fixtures. And for those of you watching at home, perhaps it's best you avoid any player that I pick, and guarantee yourself a much better game week. My defensive pick this game week goes to Huddersfield's Eric Durm. Selecting a Huddersfield player for defensive returns is definitely not something I thought I'd be doing a few weeks ago, but there's no denying they have massively improved in recent weeks and actually have a fairly decent record at home. At home this season, Huddersfield have conceded 8 goals in 7 games, which isn't too bad of a record when considering that 6 of these came against Chelsea, Liverpool and Spurs. So against more favourable opposition, they've actually been very defensively solid. They now face Brighton in Game Week 14, a side who, when away from home, set up quite defensively and looked to grind out results. And this is definitely reflected in the Seagulls stats, producing the second least goal attempts on the road this season. My budget midfield pick this week, under the price of 8 million, is Anthony Martial. It was a game week to forget for Manchester United last time out, playing out a 0-0 home draw against strugglers Crystal Palace, which also saw an end to Martial's fine run of goal-scoring form, having netted 6 in his previous 5 appearances. Despite having an off day, the French attacker still managed an impressive 10 penalty area touches, the second most amongst budget midfielders. This shows that although he didn't score, he did find himself in all the correct areas, as he has done during the last 6 game weeks. It is always difficult trusting the United attack, but they are facing a Southampton side who are really struggling of late, failing to win in their last 9 league games, and confidence just seems to be so low there with Mark Hughes under serious amounts of pressure. My any-priced midfielder this week goes to City's Leroy Sané. The biggest concern in selecting City midfielders is always the fear of Guardiola's rotation. But with Benjamin Mendy out injured for the time being, the left-sided forward looks to be set for an extended run in this team. During their Champions League fixture against Lyon in midweek, Sané was also subbed off early, providing us with a bit more evidence that Pep wants him fit to start this home fixture against Bournemouth. City are in scintillating form this season, especially at home, scoring 27 goals in just 7 matches at the Etihad so far. Opponents Bournemouth head into this game on the back of 3 straight defeats, conceding 2 goals in each of those 3, so City look to be in good shape to continue their fine goal-scoring form here. My budget forward this game week is a bit of a punt on the out-of-form Wilfried Zaha. As mentioned in my team selection video, I do fancy Zaha to do well in Game Week 14 at home to Burnley. Palace have been pretty lacklustre at home this season, only managing 2 goals in 6 games there so far. But at this moment, there's no better fixture than playing Burnley, a team who are shipping goals, conceding 15 on the road and 10 in just their last 4 game weeks. Despite not getting on the score sheet recently, Zaha's underlying stats do look fairly promising, with 21 touches in the opponent's penalty area in the last 4 game weeks. That's 3rd among budget strikers despite only playing in 3 of the 4 games. And for his stats to look promising over the last 4 game weeks is even more impressive when considering he's played Arsenal, Tottenham and United in that spell. As I said, it is a punt, but my gut feeling is he could do well this week. For my any-priced forward, the obvious choice would be Aguero, but with me already selecting a Man City player, I've instead opted for Harry Kane. Kane does face a difficult fixture away to Arsenal in Game Week 14, so not an ideal pick for my Point Predictor. With that said, Spurs are really starting to come into some form, with impressive wins over Chelsea and Inter in recent weeks. Arsenal's defensive record at home so far has looked very good on paper, conceding just 6 goals in 7 games. But interestingly, the Gunners have conceded the most big chances and the 4th most shots on target at home this season, which suggests that it's their opponents that simply haven't been clinical when presented with chances. Harry Kane boasts an excellent record against his North London rivals, scoring 7 goals in 8 games against them, and with Eriksen, Ali and Son all feeding him, perhaps he can get on the score sheet in this one. So that wraps up this week's Point Predictor. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and let me know what your 5 picks are in the comments below. Good luck to all of you for Game Week 14, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all soon.